Nobody warned me about these guys, how they get when they get behind the mic. Somebody who's very familiar with them and helped us actually break this news on ESPN 106.3 is our friend. We spend every Monday with him. He's the GM of Theoretically Speaking, Mike Tannenbaum, ESPN front office insider. Pulling up with us here on a Monday. Mike T, man, I understand you've known Colin Russo for a while here, man. Why didn't you warn us? This dude is attacking me on my Chiefs fandom and all kind of stuff. He's coming out the gates hot.
Yeah, I'm really surprised because, I know him as someone who's like shy, reticent, needs to come out of his shell. So I think that was like an out-of-character start, Theo, for his relationship with you.
Yeah, man. I was like, dude, we got a pit bull in here. But I am excited to be welcoming Russo and Rizzo to the lineup and welcoming them at the perfect time coming into football season, which is going to be guns a-blazing here for us here at ESPN 106.3. Mike T, when you first saw the deal, when you first saw CeeDee Lamb signing that extension with the Dallas Cowboys, $34 million, second most in the league APY, right behind Justin Jefferson. What's your first thought on that?
Yeah, it's exactly what I tweeted. What took so long? Theo, we got a season to play. We got Cleveland on opening day. If I'm Dallas, I should be worrying about, Dak Prescott and a million other things. So, this is a deal that's richly deserved. And when you're running a team and you hit on a first-round pick like CeeDee Lamb, who's been productive, reliable, high character on the field, off the field, he checks every box. Some deals are hard to figure out and difficult to think what's fair. This isn't one of them. So he got what he deserved. My only question is, come on, Dallas, what took so long?
Yeah, and that is curious, but it does feel like that's been something that Jerry Jones has been grown accustomed to doing with some of these deals, doing them midway through camp and whatnot. Do you have any hope, any kind of even an inkling, anything you see from this that lets you know that they might still revisit the Dak deal this offseason before they start the year or even next offseason?
Yeah, they should. When they didn't draft a quarterback, I felt like they were on the clock with Dak guys because they can't franchise him. And to me, you have every day, and Troy Aikman said this, guys, every day you have a little bit less leverage. So I was just surprised that didn't draft a quarterback. They got Lance, they got Cooper Rush, but I think they're really backing themselves into a corner.
Yeah, when we saw what they had in Trey Lance this preseason, and it did not look good. Mike Tannenbaum, NFL insider, joining us here on Theoretically Speaking on the heels of the CeeDee Lamb contract. We also still have an impasse when it comes to the contract situation with Brandon Ayuk. When you look at those top receivers in the league, and now you see CeeDee got $34 million a year, what do you think it's going to take for the 49ers to actually retain him? Because I feel like you can convince him in his camp he's not as good as Justin Jefferson. I don't know how much you can convince Brandon Ayuk that he doesn't deserve exactly what CeeDee just got at $34 million a year.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair. Look, Theo, you could squabble here and say it's 32, 33. On a $250 million cap, I know $1 million or $2 is a lot to us, but it's not that much of it. There's a deal there as well. And I think every day that goes by, we've heard rumors earlier about, teams like Pittsburgh. If I'm Pittsburgh, I have a new offensive coordinator. I got, a new quarterback. I don't see Brandon Ayuk's value. Every day that deal doesn't get done, I think it's more and more likely he's a 49er. And again, I think that deal's somewhere between 32 and 34 a year.
Mike Tannenbaum joining us here, talking wide receiver contract deals here as we near closer and closer to the NFL season. We're 10 days away from the Chiefs and the Ravens kicking things off in prime time on a Thursday night. As we get this close to the season, Mike T, what's your big burning hey, we're not talking about this enough when it comes to the NFL that you expect to see play out when the season does kick off?
Well, I think getting CeeDee Lamb's deal is just part of the story here, guys. What kind of shape is he in? There's a couple other guys, Jamar Chase, is he going to play? And Jamar Chase as an A, it makes Cincinnati a much better team than if he comes in and he's out of shape. So I think there's still a couple of these guys that haven't signed. I know when we went through it a couple of years ago with Darrelle Revis, what kind of player are you getting? And that can make a material difference to some of these early games. Deshaun Watson, ironically, Cleveland's playing Dallas on opening day. He recently missed some practices, guys, with a sore shoulder. For a quarterback to come off of, a shoulder surgery and now his shoulder sore, that caught my attention. So, who's 100% on opening day to me is a big, big story.
And can we revisit the Revis thing? That was when you were general manager of the Jets. Didn't he have a hamstring issue that year or something like that because he did hold out? What was the situation around when he did actually return to the Jets?
Yeah, Theo, like that was a situation, Buchanan, I felt like I let the team down. Like our best player, and he was out, and he came back, and he was hurt, and it lingered for a while, and we wound up having a great year. Got to the championship game, but those are the things that keep you up at night. Like CeeDee Lamb is, you could check that box and you're like, okay, great. He's under contract. That's wonderful. But, what CeeDee Lamb are you getting, especially early in the year? And for a skill player, or, in Darrell's case as a corner, you certainly worry about, the soft tissue injuries.
CCAT wants to jump in here. And also I want to let you know, you never let the team down here at Theoretically Speaking. So if that comforts you at all at night.
Yeah, I don't know how much the weekend football impacts his contract deals, in particular Trey Lance's performance. Some say he looked great. Some say he didn't look very good with 5 interceptions over the weekend. Do you think Trey Lance's performance this preseason at all impacts the Dak Prescott contract dispute?
I don't think so. I think you see someone like Trey Lance guys as a depth backup, maybe a developmental guy, but I don't think if we were running the Cowboys, we're sitting there saying like a guy that was just second in the MVP and Dak Prescott, team that was number 1 in points scored, is going to be replaced by Trey Lance. Even if he was lights out in the preseason, Dak's playing at a really, really high level.
Appreciate that, Mike T. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Mondays. And also, we're going to love having you back on the shows on Mondays. And I do hear you're going to be making an appearance on Russo and Rizzo going forward as well, right?
Only if they're nice to me.
No guarantees the way that Colin came out the gate. So we'll see how that goes. Appreciate you again, Mike T.
All right. Thank you.